when you want to kick out someone. Like this.
That's true, right? Those King of figures are record breaking, and we have seen how America has embraced all different communities from the entire world.
By the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas, we don't want them.
There are a bunch of major headlines coming out of the White House tonight after President Trump signed a series of proclamations behind closed doors. That includes a sweeping travel ban on 12 countries with a partial restriction on 7 others.
Depending on which country you're coming from and the reason you're going, if you're going to the US, be prepared, it could cost you an extra $250. It's called the Visa Integrity Fee.
State Department is proposing new changes to visa applications. The program could require some foreign visitors to pay bonds of up to $15,000 to enter the U.S.
Donald Trump's second term as U.S. president is already off to a bustling start. New policies, diplomatic tensions, and now 3 major sporting events that could redefine America as a sporting host. First up, of course, is the FIFA Club World Cup. Then the Los Angeles Olympics, that's coming up in a few years in 2028. But the biggest of them all, the biggest pressure point will be at the FIFA Men's World Cup that's scheduled to take place next year. Why? Because Trump's newly introduced policies and stringent approach may just put the entire event at risk.
FIFA could be just weeks away from making one of the most shocking World Cup decisions ever, pulling games out of the United States. And no, it's not because the stadiums aren't ready. A $15,000 entry bond, sweeping travel bans, and visa waits measured in hundreds of days could leave American arenas half empty, while Canada and Mexico are quietly getting ready to take over. How did the US go from being the main host to possibly losing the most high-profile matches of the tournament? It starts with a policy so extreme, fans are calling it a cash wall at the border. Beginning August 20th, 2025, some visitors will need to pay up to $15,000 just to get a US visa, not for the match ticket, not for hotels. This is a refundable deposit, but only if you leave exactly when you're told. And if you can't pay up front, you're not coming in. Right now, this targets countries like Malawi and Zambia, but here's the catch. The US can add more nations at any time. Imagine you've saved for years, you finally see your team qualify, you buy tickets, and a month before you fly, you find out you have to hand over more than triple your trip budget just to get past border control. For perspective, the average fan spends about $4,000 total on a World Cup trip. The bond alone can be 3 to 4 times that. And this isn't just inconvenient. For millions of fans, it's impossible. And just when you think it can't get worse, it does. On top of the $15,000 bond, there's a brand new $250 visa integrity fee. Then, in June 2025, the US introduced a proclamation banning entry for fans from 12 countries outright, including Iran, Cuba, and Venezuela. That's tens of thousands of ticket holders blocked before they even try to travel. And even if your country isn't banned, you still might not get in. In places like Egypt, Nigeria, and Kenya, the average wait for a US visa interview is now over 300 days. That means if you didn't apply last year, you're probably too late for 2026. This isn't a small problem. It's the kind of thing that can hollow out the atmosphere of a global event. Here's where it gets tricky. FIFA oversees the tournament, but border policy belongs to governments. That means FIFA can't waive visas or override entry rules. What they can do is monitor whether ticket holders are reasonably able to attend and make operational adjustments if access issues start to harm the event. As of now, there's no official announcement about relocating 2026 matches because of these policies, and the schedule stands. Any change would require coordination with host cities, stadiums, broadcasters, sponsors, and the 3 governments, So if it happens, you'll see it publicly on the official fixture list, not just in rumors. What could trigger action? Evidence at scale, consistent visa denials for large fan groups, unusually high no-show rates for US fixtures, or clear pressure from broadcasters and sponsors worried about half-full stadiums. In a pressure scenario, the practical options are limited but real, shifting specific fixtures or team groupings toward venues with easier access, or rebalancing the match mix among the three co-hosts. None of that is simple. None of it is confirmed, but it's the kind of contingency tournaments have used in other contexts when attendance or logistics were at risk. So the question isn't, can FIFA snap its fingers? It's, will the numbers force their hand? And that's where Canada and Mexico come back into the picture. While US venues face a growing list of entry hurdles, Canada and Mexico are quietly turning those same challenges into a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Canada's pitch to fans is simple, and it's working. No 15,000 bonds, no year-long visa queues, no sweeping entry bans. In most cases, you apply online, get a response in weeks, and you're cleared to travel. For supporters from Africa, Asia, and South America, that speed isn't just a convenience, it's the difference between going and staying home. Canada's three host cities, Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton, have been upgrading transit links, security systems, and fan zones for over a year. Toronto's Pearson Airport and Vancouver's SkyTrain expansion are timed to handle surges of international arrivals. Even merchandise logistics are smoother. With fewer tariff pressures, jerseys, scarves, and souvenirs land in Canadian stores faster and at lower costs than in US venues. Mexico offers a different kind of advantage: history, atmosphere, and capacity. The Estadio Azteca has hosted 2 World Cup finals. Monterrey's Estadio BBVA and Guadalajara's Estadio Akron meet FIFA standards with room to spare, and Mexican football culture guarantees the noise and color that broadcasters crave. For many fans, Mexico's visa process is straightforward, and the exchange rate stretches travel budgets further. Behind the scenes, sponsors are reading the same tea leaves. Emirates has already shifted around $15 million in ad spend to Canadian matches. Visa has redirected fan engagement programs toward Vancouver and Toronto. The logic is simple. If you're paying millions to be in front of passionate, visible crowds, you go where the seats will be full. Some sports economists believe this shift in momentum could snowball. A few relocated group stage matches might lead to high-stakes knockout games moving too. Not because the US can't host them logistically, but because it can't guarantee the same energy inside the stadium. So for Canada and Mexico, the question isn't whether they can handle more matches. It's how many they can take, and whether the political climate in the US will hand them the World Cup's biggest moments. If this trend continues, the US risks billions in lost tourism revenue, a damaged international reputation, and empty seats broadcast to millions around the globe. For Canada and Mexico, it's the chance to host more games, bring in more fans, and maybe even host the FIFA World Cup final. This isn't just about sports. It's about global image, economics, and who really gets to put their name on the world's biggest stage. So here's the question. Should FIFA protect the tournament's atmosphere and move more matches to Canada and Mexico, or stick with the plan and risk a World Cup with empty seats? Let me know your thoughts below, because this decision could change the history of football.